So going from farm worker to land manager, how did that happen? Can you share a little insight in what took you to public lands and being a land manager?
You know, por casualidad is a terminology in Spanish that by chance. And working in the fields of Southern California, especially in the San Joaquin Valley, I remember as a child working in the fields and looking out in the distance to the east and seeing the Sierra Nevada. And I think my eyes captured for the first time this unique landscape that really caught my attention, which at the time I didn't know much about, but it looked so beautiful, especially in the early mornings. My eyes could see sometimes the clouds over the mountains. Sometimes I could see clearly the mountains out of the San Joaquin Valley as we're working in Delano and Bakersfield and other parts of Southern California. And so I think that was the beginnings for me to have an interest in what was up there in those mountains, what really happened out there. And I always imagined that there was something beautiful in those mountains. So I think the first thing that captured me was my eyes captured the essence of nature. And later, as I became a little older, I began to realize that nature was indeed something that I aspired to be in and with. I didn't know how, but I knew that it captured my attention. So that's how I began to have an interest in what I didn't know was public lands. I just knew that it was beautiful to my eyes. And then as time went on, I began to discover, actually by chance, por casualidad, that there were such agencies as the Forest Service. And it was by chance that I was able to come across that agency, the Forest Service, because we were living in John Day, Oregon at the time, and I was actually selling fruit out of a corner of a street with one of my oldest sons. And I saw some vehicles that had green and symbols on them. And it caught my attention. What is it that these people were doing? Where were they going? Where were they working? What company was it? And it was by chance that I actually went inside the Forest Service office, the Malheur National Forest, and asked the lady on the front counter, how does one get a job in this organization? It turns out that she was one of the most friendly people I've ever met and really introduced me to the Forest Service at the time. The rest is history. I actually became an employee of the Forest Service and started as a GS2 working on the mail in the typing room. And then later, as time went on, I worked my way up to become the forest supervisor in Lake Tahoe, California, and moved on to many other jobs in the Federal Service.